we don't need this president who continues to make excuse after excuse of what he can't do. Yeah. Same thing, and we're going to talk about this a little later, about the 3 soldiers that were killed in Jordan. Once again, he's talking about what he cannot do. This is a weak, cucked man.
Yeah,
we need to get him out.
You have to know that when 1 week it says Biden has control over the border, and then the very next week they say Republicans won't let us do a border deal, you have to know, that's a lie.
Right. Speaking of immigration, we're moving on to illegal immigration. And please pay close attention to that word, illegal immigration. We're not talking about legal immigration. We love and welcome legal immigrants that want to come here to the United States and assimilate and protect our and go along with our rules and laws. We love that. But next we're talking about illegal immigration. And I want to start this topic off with what Sonny Hostin from The View said. This is clip number 3. Take a look.
It's hard.
You're cute and submissive.
It's hard. I am a man repellent. It's hard. Because all I do is go to gay events and drag shows and
anything to make a buck, save a buck. Anything to make a buck.
It's hard.
Those that aren't, the Republicans that want to be obstreperous want it because they don't want a Biden win. Right. They don't want Biden to be as successful and his administration to be as successful as it can and as it has been. The thing that I really think people need to understand about immigration, it's not a crisis. It's something that has been an issue in our country from the very beginning. In fact, during the Bush administration and right after, he said his biggest regret was not being able to do more on immigration. Bush said that. Then Obama comes along and really is the only president in my lifetime that has done something. He did DACA, right? He got that Dreamers Act passed. That was a key legislation passed by the Democrats. And the other part about immigration is it's not the problem that Republicans say it is. They say that immigrants run up crime.
Just into Fox News now, NYPD making 2 more arrests, illegal immigrants. And that attack on officers. Those suspects also allegedly stole an officer's cell phone. Well, that'll help them track you down. So a 5th illegal immigrant accused of attacking 2 New York City police officers over the weekend showed no remorse or regret. He was seen, as you can see, giving his 2 middle fingers to the cameras moments after being released without bail. Florida Senator Marco Rubio wrote...
It's not true, and it hasn't been true for 140 years by a Stanford study. They say that immigrants take jobs away from Americans.
So first of all, we're not talking about immigrants, legal immigrants, and she knows it. She's trying to twist the words. She's trying to play games. She's trying to be twisty and tricky. We're not talking about legal immigrants. We are talking about illegal immigrants, and yes, we have a crisis of great proportion. Look at this. Last week, she's talking about President Biden touting an imminent border deal with Senate Republicans. And I quote, he says, "It would give me, as president," he wrote in a statement, "a new emergency authority to shut down the border when it becomes overwhelmed. And if given that authority, I would use it the day I signed the bill into law." He's referring to a provision in the deal that reportedly would compel him to use a Title 42-like authority to stop illegal immigrants after average daily crossings reach 5,000 over a period of 7 days, or 85,000 in a day. And we're way over that right now. We're way over that. And that's actually a lot.
Yeah, and
he's using an excuse. He's making an excuse.
And I just want to be clear about, President 45, Donald J. Trump. He did not say that he doesn't want to deal. They're like making it about him. He was very clear when he said a bad border deal is worse than no border deal. Right. So he's not saying that he doesn't want a border deal. But what they are trying to do is push through all this junk and this mess, push through money for wars, foreign wars, push through all kinds of foolishness in order to get the border closed, when in fact the Supreme Court already said that he has complete control over the border. So he can close the border if he wants to. He can fix this situation. And like you said, illegal immigration. I love my mother is an immigrant. I would not be here if it was not for the privilege of immigration in this country. So like you said, we're not talking about immigration. That is one of the things that makes this place beautiful.
Right.
But when you have, I think the number now is like 16 million people.
It's crazy.
It's insane. Like there's no way that we can maintain.
It's a crisis. With not only a crisis of illegals coming over the border, we have a crisis of human trafficking.
Yes.
We have a crisis of abuse, fentanyl, all this coming in from the border. And Biden inherited a border that was under control via humane and lawful policies that had been put in place by the Trump administration. Trump took control of it.
Yeah, and he didn't have to. I mean, he was building the wall, but he didn't really have to because they weren't coming. Why they didn't come? Because you had to remain in Mexico.
Right.
Nobody wanted to remain in Mexico, so he had it under control. Fact of the matter is Barack Obama actually deported way more people than President Trump ever had to.
Absolutely.
And that's the strong man that we need.
Yeah, we do. And we don't need this president who continues to make excuse after excuse of what he can't do.
Yeah.
Same thing, and we're going to talk about this a little later, about the 3 soldiers that were killed in Jordan. Once again, he's talking about what he cannot do. This is a weak, cucked man.
Yeah,
we need to get him out of office. Trump took immediate control. And what did Biden do on day one of his presidency? He took away all of the policies and the executive orders that Trump had put in place to protect our border.
Yeah.
He tore them all down and spent years cynically and dishonestly blaming the resulting chaos on the Trump administration. It is a lie.
Yeah.
And anyone with sense should be able to see this. And Sonny Hostin knows this, and she's lying and miscommunicating and misinforming the information.
Yeah, for sure. And I just kind of don't understand like the whole switcheroo. Like, are you guys watching the way the media is like trying to turn it around and be like, oh, Republicans want open borders. Like, what? It's the same thing. Like, oh, Republicans are not patriots. You remember they did that like last year and the year before. Oh, y'all are not like they're taking every single talking point and being manipulative and trying to turn it around on us. And you guys, we have to be smart. We have to be courageous. We cannot allow them to do what they did to us in 2020. Like, we cannot. Yeah. This is the election year that they're making it. Like, I actually heard Morning Joe say Republicans want open borders. No. And I'm like, what the heck?
No. They know it's not true. They're trying to twist it to try to take up for Biden. Let me tell you something. And you guys know, and the ladies on here know, I was a DeSantis supporter.
Yeah.
I voted for Trump when he ran, but in this election, I was a DeSantis supporter.
You don't like the drama.
Right. But I'm saying this to say, I'm not one of these only Trump people. Mm-hmm. I'm not the type of person that's not going to call out Trump for things that I disagreed with him about. We're truth seekers.
Yeah.
We're honest on here.
Yeah.
But this, nobody can say Trump was not strong on the border.
Yeah.
And the way they're doing this Senate deal, it's not even about protecting the border. It's about expanding the administrative protocols to allow more people to come in
and get work permits. Right. You got like work permits and all the benefits and the resources that poor Americans need. And who are most effective? Who are the most poor in this country? It's Black Americans.
Right.
And for you guys to kind of not even be saying anything. Like, you should take it personally. Like, you should be so mad. And instead, they got you focused on stupid stuff like racism or like, the whatever the
gender,
like,
ideology.
And your lives are being replaced.
Right.
We used to be the largest minority. We no longer are, you guys. And what that means for us is what little power. I know you said, oh, black people don't have any power structure or whatever. Like, now what little we had is completely eviscerated.
Yeah, it is. And not only that, but then you have this lying woman. And, for you all who say, oh, we only talk about black women. Well, black women need to start telling the truth. You have this lying Corinne Jeanpierre get up on the pulpit every day and just lie. Biden and the administration has all the power they need to shut down our border. They can stop this, and they refuse to. And now they're blaming it on this Senate bill, and the Senate bill is not going to stop this border influx. Now they just want more money to process these illegal immigrants and bring them in. That's what they want to do.
And I don't think that they want a deal at all. Honestly, I don't think that they want a border deal at all. They just know that this is the hot topic, and Biden is getting crushed on it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, people are, like, losing their minds. But what they do know, and they bank on every single time, is that people are just not well-versed into politics.
No.
And so they're able to tell you whatever they can lie to you and tell you, oh, yeah, we're working on the border. And they're not. They don't care. They don't care at all about closing this border, you guys. Like, they do not care. And you have to know that when 1 week it says Biden has control over the border, and then the very next week they say Republicans won't let us do a border deal, you have to know, that's a lie.
Right. It is a lie. And not only that, but the way that they're doing this is so mischievous. What you have, because with this bill, they're asking for money to process these illegal immigrants. We already have an issue with these illegal immigrants going to cities, taking over social services, closing down schools to provide shelter for them. What do you think is going to happen when they process more of them coming in? Yeah. And not only that, but do you know who's coming? This is all tied to the whole Middle Eastern issues that we're having. The people that are coming in here, these Venezuelans, there's a lot of Venezuelans coming in here. It's all connected to China, to Iran. I mean, look this up. It's all connected, and we're putting ourselves in more danger.
Yeah, and a lot of people that are coming from, and I think Sonny Hostin said, people that are coming, that are escaping communist countries, but they're not coming with wanting to assimilate, you guys. No. We're not getting their best. Y'all don't like when President Trump say that, but it's the absolute truth. I went to Mexico, and we were just kind of talking, and we were speaking to Mexican. They don't want to come here if they are good, they're smart, they have good jobs. You can make a really good, decent life for yourself if you're educated. So what's coming here is not their best. And then they're coming here asking us to take care of them, to provide for them. And then they say, they're taking jobs that Americans won't want. What jobs Americans don't want? Yes. What Americans that don't want a job? Like, stop saying stuff that you don't know about.
No, and not only that, you're talking about jobs that Americans don't want. Now these Americans, since Biden has gotten into office, more Americans are working more than one job than ever. You have more people who now have to take a part-time job to keep up with Bidenomics.
Yes, it's so true. I mean, like, people are working 3-4 jobs.
I know so many people now have to get another job.
Yes, a side hustle or something. Right. Like, I mean, you can't even afford to live. The apartment, like, they're making the apartment costs go up. They're making the food costs go up. They're making everything because it's the supply and demand issue, you guys. And the more people you have, the more demand, and then the supply is low. Like, everything is connected to this, and you guys, we're sitting there just taking it up the rear. And just taking it.
And voting for it. You're voting for it. The people that I know that are now working multiple jobs, then they was living in the sun and having a good time under Trump, but talking about him. Under the Trump economy, they didn't have more than one job. Now, these same people having to get 2 and 3 jobs now in order to compensate, because Bidenomics is really hammering down on the poor and working class people, middle class people. Now everybody's got to get another job. And let's see who you vote for next in November. Let's see who you vote for this time.
Well,
you not only are you talking about immigrants, you're talking about these illegal immigrants. You know what they're doing? You used to get people that could get jobs with DoorDash or Uber. Now you have these illegal immigrants coming over. They're getting all these free services, phones and things like that, and they're taking these jobs.
Oh yeah, the DoorDash. I think I saw somewhere where like she was like last year she got paid $400 to go from Baltimore to Virginia Beach. They paying $200 to go from Baltimore. Why? Because there's so many people that have entered the industry, and you guys, it is hurting us so bad.
It sure is.
Y'all just quietly go into your voting booth. Like, this is the time where we gotta do like white folks. You remember when the white folks didn't like what was going on with the NFL? They didn't say nothing. They wasn't kneeling, they wasn't protesting. They just cut off their TV, and then NFL saw their
bottom line,
their ratings plummet. Black folks, I'm telling you, we need to do just like that. Don't say nothing. When the polls come out, don't say nothing. And you vote your interest and you vote your kids' futures. Seriously.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So we are moving right along. Again, if you are watching and haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? Definitely join us. We are a community of truth seekers. We care about, as Crystal said, our families, our kids, our country. And it's all about making sure we hold our elected officials accountable and spread the truth.
Yes.
So subscribe so you get up-to-the-minute content when we post, and we certainly appreciate the support. All right. So we are moving along to a sadder part of the night. The death, the murder of these 3 U.S. soldiers. Yeah. So our Iranian proxy forces have been attacking Americans all over the Middle East, from Iraq to Syria and now Jordan, an ally of ours. U.S. officials reported 3 U.S. service members were killed. At least 34 were injured in an Iran-backed militia drone strike on a base in northeast Jordan, according to the Wall Street Journal. Now, that is a bit of a difference in kind from attacks in Iraq and Syria, because I mentioned Jordan is an ally of ours. So Iraq and Syria are not